Support WrestleTalk.
Give us a subscribe.
Hello, and welcome to AEW Blood and Guts live reactions. We don't know where Luke is. However, we'll still be watching it, and we'll still be enjoying it along with you. I'm obviously Andy Datson. This is Dat Tempest. That's Louis. And yeah, we'll be watching it. We generally think Luke has fallen asleep. Not answering any calls. He's the one who set up this stream, so.
I mean, we weren't supposed to be. This was a very last-minute decision in terms of us doing the stream. I know Luke was thinking about it last week, and then today we had a meeting, and he was just like, "Let's just do it." And then, obviously, because I know Tempest and I watch every week, and it's a relatively big show, so I assume that's why Andy's watching. But it looks like the reason we did this, it says Chopper and Tempest below us. I'm going to remove that. But it said, so the reason we're doing this stream, the person that sort of instigated this isn't here. Hopefully he turns up.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, we've called him. It rang for a while and then went to voicemail. Luke is someone who does fall asleep relatively frequently.
I thought you were going to stop right after he's a guy who falls asleep, as opposed to normal people.
Yeah, exactly. But it's fine. We'll still be watching it. When this is basically WrestleTalk.com takeover of the WrestleTalk podcast channel. So I hope the lack of Luke isn't too disappointing for everyone. But hey, you never know what could happen. Have we? Because Luke was supposed to be doing this, have we got an ultra chat? You've got it. All right.
Yes.
Louis, why don't you start reading some out?
Let's let them get in first. We got a few. We got a few in the dock. But
might as well read them then, you lovely man.
Why don't you give people the link that they can get the ultra chats to?
Of course, it's WrestleTalk.com/support. Send us in your ultra chats. We'll be reading every single one of them throughout the show. We've got our lovely moderators in the chat, sorting everything out. So thank you to them. I guess we'll might as well ask Tempest. What are you looking forward to most? Obviously, within the match itself.
I've been thinking about this like all day and really all week leading up to this. I cannot wait for the finish, because this is like a classic War Games match, as opposed to the WWE NXT War Games matches that end by pinfall and all that. This is not that. This match can only be won by submission or surrender, and I cannot wait to check out like the possibilities that they have for storytelling based off of this. I was writing stuff because I might be making a video depending on how this match ends up going, but there's just so many different possibilities for this match. Like, if anyone on the Pinnacle side loses, then they can all kind of like look at that person as the weak link. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen, but there's like a whole set of possibilities there. And then on the babyface side, you can look at it the same way, where if Sammy Guevara is the one who gives up, then he's the person who honestly has kind of been on the outs of the inner circle this year. I know that was kind of to play on MJF and the creation of the Pinnacle, but still, that's something that they could do. At the same time, if Chris Jericho does it, he's either the leader who quit for his team, or maybe you can do a situation where someone's getting like, I don't know, handcuffed to the cage and he's just getting beaten up and Chris Jericho quits on their behalf to save his partner. What a great babyface run that would be for Chris Jericho. There's just so much to look forward to. And that's at the end of this match that will probably go in excess of like 45 minutes. There's so much to look forward to.
Louis?
I'm looking forward to FTR. Other than that, not much. So when I interviewed Sean Spears, he, in as many words, says don't expect, not just from the finish aspect, but don't expect an NXT War Games match in terms of I think he said like flippy stuff. that he was basically implying you're going to see like a more vicious side of War Games, more akin to the WCW kind of stuff, the stuff we've seen in NXT. So as someone that wasn't watching any of that stuff live, I'm looking forward to like seeing it with active wrestlers in that kind of setting. We've seen before with obviously the Thunder Rosa stuff and the Britt Baker match and the Lights Out match and the first match that Kenny and Moxie had. The AEW is not afraid to go a bit hardcore, and I think we could be seeing that. We've seen that TNT are all right with it, so I think this could be really quite messy. My hot take is I think it might be like a quite convincing win for the Pinnacle.
Well, I mean, that's the point for a blood and guts match. Like the classic War Games match had to have like a decisive winner. Like this isn't something where you can get like a fluky pinfall win or something like that. It's like someone's gonna quit.
Yeah, I didn't mean in that context. I meant in terms of like I don't think Inner Circle is gonna get much in. Like I think that I basically don't think it's gonna be like an even match. I think Pinnacle might just try and get it done, like not get it done quick, but I think that how do I word this? I don't think it's going to be a back and forth even match. I think we might see Pinnacle really put in a convincing showing here, and I think considering it is their first match, they like as a fivesome, they should definitely win for sure. And I think that you mentioned there, Tempest, having the Chris Jericho maybe like quitting on behalf of Sammy, like to protect him. I know I've seen that sort of fan theory floated around. I think it'd be awesome. And then, yeah, my big worry was where'd you go from here? Because it's quite early on in the feud. And I everyone said in interviews, basically anyone that's done an interview out of the War Game, out of the Blood and Guts lot have said this isn't going to be the final chapter. So I'm like, where'd you go from here? I think we could be seeing Jericho put his career on the line at a later date, because in terms of a stipulation, I don't think anything tops War Games. Like, yes, I very much like MJF and Jericho as wrestlers, but that match to me isn't above like Blood and Guts. I think the only thing that is putting Jericho's 30-year career on the line. Like, that's the only thing I can think of that would be on the level of, or maybe even more so than War Games. So I'm looking forward to this, and also where we go from here and how AEW tops it, because if any company I've got the faith in to take it one step further, it is AEW.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think that Jericho's got like a ways left to go. I think, honestly, because to this point, we have not had like a proper main event level Chris Jericho babyface run. And I think that's something that he wants to like check off his career bucket list still. And he's done really well with his last two promos. And I think there's a lot of runway left for something like that. So I don't necessarily think that like a career-ending match or a career-threatening match is necessarily what's coming next. But I do agree that it is kind of odd. This seems like the ultimate blow-off match type of situation. And to start the feud with it is a little bit odd. But what can you do? Andy, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, for everyone asking, we don't know where Luke is. He was supposed to be here, but he's not.
Listen to this guy. We don't know where Luke is, but Louis here.
See, his middle name it says stupid. I don't know if you would.
True. And I also saw another one says, can I donate money to get Louis off the stream? So
I heard someone go, Louis Dangle doesn't like AEW, which isn't true anymore. I do quite like AEW now.
Anymore.
Why didn't you like? Well, so okay. Well, anyway, whatever. We won't get into that. But
I can explain. I was just a lover of NXT, and it was like the big kid that like came in and like took like my friend's place in the football team, and like, I wasn't happy because I know like the other kid is quite good, but like I liked my thing. My thing got bad at football, but now my thing's on its own. It's moved to a new school. And he's actually quite good at football now. So I'm very happy NXT's back.
Okay. What are your bets on Luke turning up at like 2:00 in the morning?
He's done. You
reckon he's done? Tempest?
Yeah, Luke's done.
I hope not. I hope he shows up in like 4 minutes right before the actual show starts. He's like, "Oh my god, lads, I'm so sorry. Oh, I dozed off."
He'll turn up at exactly the moment the blood and guts match starts.
So this is just like an hour and 15-minute pre-show before that.
Exactly. Well, before we got 4 minutes before the show starts, so we'll read a few super chats. First of all, we got Michael Salmon with a very nice donation saying, "Hi, first-time chatter. Really looking forward to seeing some blood and guts. Glad to be watching with you. Getting back into wrestling after watching your channel. Thanks. AEW is great. AEW is great. And thank you very much for your first-time chat. It's always nice to hear that people are getting back into wrestling. I think AEW has done that for a lot of people, judging by a lot of the people who chat into Ollie and Luke's weekly reviews. Luke will be here tomorrow to review this show. He's here!
Hang on.
He's here!
He's here! He's here! It's Luke! It's
Hello,
Luke!
everyone.
He's here!
Thank God!
Oh,
Did you fall asleep, Luke?
I've been asleep for a while, mate. I went to bed at 10.
We were worried that you'd forgot to set an alarm or something. And
everyone celebrate in the chat.
I actually did set an alarm. It just didn't go off.
Oh, it did go off, and you didn't wake up to it.
It's an alarm.
Oh.
12:25.
I will have it be
Did
known.
you set it
Luke,
for
these
12:25
two-
p.m.
yeah,
These two had no faith that you
Oh
would
yeah,
show
that might
up.
be what it set for. Actually. That's really what it was. So it's set for tomorrow afternoon.
Both Louis and I were very certain you'd turn up. Tempest had said there was no chance.
Tempest, why would you say such a thing?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps you should go check the replay of this stream to find out what the truth
I
may be.
need to. Like Andy has told me everything I need to know. I don't need to know
really.
anything
Exactly. I'm senior enough. We were just reading out some super chats, Luke. Should I continue?
chats.
That's the one. Ultra chats.
Yeah, I will take over, Andy. Thank you so much, boys, for doing this pretty much without me, because I basically ballsed it up.
You're here before the show started. That's the main.
Obviously, I got here with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left to spare.
This is JR going, lukewarm.
We have all gone around and said what we are looking forward to most with Blood and Guts. And as I'm sure the viewership numbers have shot up since you have arrived. God, tell us what you're looking forward to with Blood and Guts.
It is watching the show with all of you is what I'm looking forward to the most.
You're just trying to make up for it, aren't you?
It would have been what I would have said earlier. But I just like I think it's curiosity for me more than anything else as well. Like I'm just it was a match that we didn't get last year, and I'm way more into this matchup than I am last year's one as well. Because while the Inner Circle versus the Elite would have been really cool, I was never hugely into a feud between the Elite and the Inner Circle. It always felt like they were just two teams. Like it felt a bit like there's been a few years where NXT have done war games where you're just like, well, you're just having a match for the sake of having this match.
Yeah.
Whereas this actually is this feels way more like this is why we're having this match.
I agree.
Like you two teams need to be in this situation. Like you need to have this match to kind of like settle this score. So I'm kind of I'm really curious more than anything to see the match, to see what everything is like.
Yeah, it's really interesting in regards to last year's non-match, because I wasn't as interested in like the feud between the Inner Circle and the Elite, but I was just positive that there was going to be a huge moment in the Hangman Page arc in that match that we didn't end up seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one of the guys that didn't go to Georgia for that like 6-week run they had. So his arc just kind of like it just died down for a little while before it picked back up at Double or Nothing. I was sure we were going to get some huge moment last year that just didn't end up happening.
I think we could say that with every wrestling company, though. The moments we would have got if this whole thing wasn't a thing. But I agree with you, Lou. I think, and I said this to Sean Spears when I interviewed him, this feels like it deserves to be the first Blood and Guts match
Mm-hmm.
And he basically said in as many words, it's a bit of a blessing in disguise. The last one didn't happen. He was like, we'll make it up to you, New Jersey, but I think it was for the best that sort of this is the first.
Of course you would say that.
But his main takeaway was don't expect an NXT War Games match.
No.
This is going to be more akin to WCW. We're just going to lock these two teams in a cage and beat the crap out of each other. Exactly. I'm partially a bit worried for what we're going to see.
Guys, I think I've done something stupid. I think I might have bought the Spanish version of this.
Once you buy one, you buy both. I've done the same.
Oh, but why is it all in Spanish? Oh,
so go to the English version. Yeah, go to the English.
I just bought this in English button. I was like, oh no, I have to watch all of this in Spanish.
Sorry, would have translated for you, Andy. Sorry, mate. As Andy will have pointed out there, this show is now on. This show is now live. Welcome, everyone, to the WrestleTalk Podcast live reactions to AEW Blood and Guts. I am Luke, and I'm joined by this excellent crew who have been doing this in my stead while I was a little bit sleepy. Andy Datson, Tempest the Wrestler, and the man with the scoops, Louis Dangor. Thank you all so much for joining us. This is going to be a lot of fun, and we are kicking things off with the tag match of Kenny Omega and Michael Nakazawa versus Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston.
Interesting.
Our promo.
People said that the match was taped last week, but there are 2 rings there. So I'm not sure whether something was mixed up. Because it does look like there are 2 rings. There are 2 rings there, so logic would dictate this wouldn't have been taped last week unless they've put the 2 rings there last week to make it look like it was all part of the same show. I mean, don't know.
I think that might be the case, honestly.
Yeah,
because I've heard from the building that the cage is already up, and I don't think that the cage can be taken down. So this might have been taped last week.
I've seen some chat saying, "Have you seen the ring?" Because it's clearly.
I shared it on Twitter if anyone wants to have a look at it. It looks pretty good. It's got the roof on it, obviously. I'm
afraid we're going to have. I imagine just quite a lot of people watching this who are quite a way ahead of us, because we're watching on Fight, which will be a tiny bit behind. By the way, if you're wanting to watch this, head out to fight.tv. Great little streaming service. Who stream every week, so do go and check them out. There are good guys over there. Oh, it's Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, Kingston Moxley coming out now. I think Callis was saying. I'm assuming he was saying that Kenny Omega is not being part of this match, right?
Ooh.
So I've just hit pause on here. Let me know when
Kenny's literally just started attacking Moxley.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll hit play now.
I also hit pause. That's why I went, ooh.
I think I was a good ways ahead of y'all because I'm watching it on TV. Thank you, TSN.
Why did the referee start the match? Without checking that Kingston was happy for him to start the match.
I think that's a WWE thing. I don't think that's supposed to happen. I think we've just become used to it. Like, are you okay? Can you compete?
I think it's also case by case basis because there's some times where it is like, did you see that kick? But then there are other times where it's just like, you're fine.
Did you see the referee just kicked the headphones and they landed perfectly on the middle rope?
True talent.
So this is not what I expected this match would be. I expected, I don't know, there's been about 30 seconds. I just expected Kenny Omega to be stood on the outside being like, I'm not going to come in.
I'm just glad Michael Nakazawa has been hitting some double axe handles.
Yeah.
Is it a tornado tag or is it an actual tag match?
There are no tag rules in AEW, Andy.
Yeah, I think it's just a regular tag match.
This is a weird angle.
Yeah, I was thinking that it's sort of like they are trying to make it look like there's one ring, so it's tilted to the side, so it does look a bit strange.
It's like they've got their hard cam where the ring would normally be in the middle, but they haven't moved it.
Yeah, it's actually quite a lot else on the show, isn't there tonight? There's Britt Baker's in action. Cody QT Marshall, which is a pretty big match considering. Like, I thought they were going to save that for Double. I know Tempest and I were speaking last week about the Double or Nothing card, and he was like, "Oh, that could be one for Double or Nothing." And to be honest, we were both a bit like, QT and Cody, like, so maybe good call they put it on TV, but.
Well, a multi-person match at Double or Nothing, and like because like if you're not doing the Elite, Inner Circle versus Pinnacle at Double or Nothing, then you can do the 2-team thing rather than having like 2 matches of 2 teams going at it. So maybe it makes more sense to do do the singles match of that feud at the pay-per-view, but do the singles match of this feud here on TV.
Yeah.
They announced last night as well that Miro's going to be, I guess, addressing what happened last week and maybe what's next for him. So hopefully, I don't know if they're going to start anything with Darby Allin tonight.
He will be the guy, I think. He will be the guy to hit title off Darby.
I think he needs to be.
You think he's going to beat him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty confident that, like, Miro is going to be the man to beat Darby Allin. Like, I feel like the whole thing of Darby Allin constantly overcoming the odds is just going to keep building until Miro comes out and squashes him.
I agree.
Which, I'll be honest, I think is just about the perfect way to do like an open challenge type story that you overcome the odds, especially being a smaller wrestler like Darby. Like, you can only beat the guys like Preston Vance and, Matt Hardy and guys like that so many times before eventually your body will just be so worn down that you won't be able to do it another time. And I think that's basically, that's what happened with Cody and Brody Lee last year. Yeah. And if you just keep doing that, like with the open challenge type thing, like it's easy storytelling and it works like every time. Eddie Kingston was hit with a low blow while we were talking.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, he was hit right in the knackers.
I think it's like Louis sort of said that. This is different to what I was expecting. I was very much expecting this to be a case of just the baby faces beat up Michael Nakazawa for ages. And then like Kenny will get tagged in somehow for like, a couple of spots for the baby faces. But like Kenny's in this match way more than I was expecting him to be.
Michael Nakazawa was also... He's like weirdly, he doesn't feel that out of place, which is a bit weird.
You know what it might be is they could have thought that this is likely going to be one of their biggest ratings ever, and so they wanted to get Kenny on the show wrestling.
Totally.
It's like that because I was thinking are they going? So part of me thought they might start with this, and it was a fleeting thought. Start with Blood and Guts because you're going to have the most people tune in. It's like they did with the Shaq match. They started the show. Everyone thought they'd main event, but people were like, no, people are just going to want to watch the Shaq stuff, and hopefully they'll stay on as opposed to waiting for 2 hours. So I guess like 10%, it makes sense to have Moxley, obviously formerly Ambrose, Kenny. It does make sense to have them on.
We've had a couple of our requests for a sync up. I don't know how effective that'll be, but Kingston's currently no-selling some chops, and he's just hit his own chop.
He's now firing back with chops on Kenny.
No-sells a chop.
Normally, when people go for a pin, it's a quite good place to sync up. But when there's a pin, we'll let you know.
Yeah, because I don't think they're going to have a timer necessarily on this show at any point. It could be wrong. They might be countdown until blood and guts, but we will see.
To be honest, there'll probably be a countdown during the blood and guts match. So if we've gone that long and we're not synced up, we'll figure it out then.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the Fight TV chat really hate wrestling.
Don't look like I've full screen there.
I was going to say I might do that now.
Yeah,
anytime I feel bad about the YouTube comments, I go onto the fight chat and realize it's bad, but it could be worse.
Absolute worse.
My group chat of my friends, they have just found the clip that I put on Twitter today from the podcast earlier where I tried to speak German. They are having a grand old laugh.
Why were you trying to speak German? What, for Walter?
Yeah. Walter cut a promo in German on FaceTime on NXT last night. And the lovely The Zornies sent in the full transcript, and I read it out loud very poorly.
We actually had the Zornies call in to Wrestling Daily on Tuesday. She's absolutely lovely. We had a lovely about 10-minute old chat about how sort of 90-day non-competes work and like if you're actually paid. It was actually very interesting. It's nice chatting with fans that like you normally just see behind a screen.
Ooh,
there you go.
Close.
You normally just see behind the screen, and you're like,
Yeah, I think we are synced up.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about like the fans will be a bit of an issue, but I think all of us are synced up. Even though Andy appears to be stuck in the ether right now.
Oh yeah, so he is. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, and there he goes.
That often happens with Andy on streams.
Yeah. Andy's internet has been really bad the last few months. Like, really, really bad. Also, the Zornies says, Tempest, you're welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you, the Zornies. And for the lovely fan art that I was sent earlier today on Twitter.
It was very good. You holding the Quizomania sign. It was very good. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now we're getting what we kind of assumed would be this match.
Clothesline German suplex.
Oh, goodness.
Do you remember Michael Nakazawa's
2, 3?
There you go. Do you remember his match at, when was it? Fighter Fest, when he faced the CEO of that company, and he just
Alex Jabali.
That was one of the weirdest matches.
Michael Jabali, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I remember Lance Storm like blew a gasket at that match. Like, this is one of the first matches that you'll put on as a company, because that was only their second show. It was like, imagine someone's watching AEW for the first time and they see that match.
So for those that aren't watching AEW right now, the Bucks are out.
Oh, Good Brothers are now attacking Moxley and Kingston. Jay, I was like, I thought we were past these guys.
QDis asked if I credited the artist. I mean, I quote tweeted the tweet that was sent to me, so I think so. Yeah, I think that would qualify. It's not like I just posted the picture, but yeah, don't worry. I'm not a certain someone who might do the same thing and then get upset about it.
Shots fired.
I
like the way Doc Gallows has basically just hit a magic killer with his sunglasses still on. And they didn't fall off.
Cassidy over here.
Oh, goodness.
So we presume
glad he's not watching because that was a super kick without any shoes.
Are we predicting it is Young Bucks versus Mox and Kingston at Double or Nothing?
I thought it was going to be SCU after that promo that they cut, but maybe not.
Well, SCU, they've got a four-way match tonight, and the winner faces Young Bucks next week. I presume
it'd be
SCU
winning,
as well. Yeah, I guess they're winning because they can't lose in that match. That'd be flipping awful to disband as a team in a four-way match. But yeah.
Oh, man.
Maybe
the Young Bucks about to retire SCU as a team.
Yeah.
But I would be very excited to see Moxley and Kingston against the Young Bucks for the titles.
I love that. Yeah. The one-winged angel there to Kingston. And then 1, 2, 3.
The slowest count ever.
So Daniel Bryan's turning up tonight, right?
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up. What do we do? Like, we have to do something crazy if Daniel Bryan shows up on this show.
I'll shave my head if Daniel Bryan turns up. I'm that confident he's not turning up.
We've heard it. We've heard it here, folks.
Although on Wrestling Daily last night, I was like, right, guys, like, don't get ahead of yourselves. There is absolutely no way Vince McMahon lets Daniel Bryan's contract expire. I was like, I cannot see a world where Daniel Bryan is a free agent.
They've announced Shida versus Baker for Double or Nothing.
Oh, yes, let's go.
And we're going to find out who's going to challenge Omega for the title tonight.
Don't know if you guys seen full capacity crowd for Double or Nothing.
I saw that just before I went to bed. And I wasn't sure if I'd misread something. I was going to ask, actually, like if I did misread that. But yeah.
Tony said it. Tony said it on Busted Open. does feel like, I mean, it is only 5,000, so it isn't like we're doing
Still,
25,000.
It feels like still it's quite sizable. But I mean, Mania was 15. Was it for
25?
25. Yeah. That's
And I
really
guess it's
good,
the size of the venue as well. It does like you can have it's how people can distance. But Machine Gun Kelly, I think, did a concert at Daly's Place, full capacity, like a couple of weeks ago. So I'm sure AEW monitored that and were just checking. But yeah, I've seen mixed responses. Some people are like, hey, AEW's done this a bit too soon. Other people are just excited to have fans back. So
yeah. Just get a bit of a nice background for us now. There you go.
Ooh.
I just captured that because we're in an ad break. Thank you all so much for joining us here on the WrestleTalk podcast stream here, where we react live to AEW's Blood and Guts, the AdNap 2. So did you ever hear Dusty's story about pitching War Games? They initially turned it down because the second ring would leave less room for seats and sell less tickets. Dusty replied, charge more for the remaining seats. They'll pay extra for this. So carny. Funny enough, the AdNap 2, that's why Vince never did it. Vince had the option to do like War Games in WWE, but he had the exact same opinion. It was like, if we have the second ring, then there's less tickets. So we won't do it. And it was only Triple H that was like, no, I want to do this in NXT. And NXT doesn't make any money anyway, so we can get away with doing it here.
Was that still while WWE was like topping off the top row of seats so they couldn't sell out? Or was that after that point?
Yeah, I think it might have been before that point, yeah. Some stupid punk said, hey, it's Andy. What's up, Andy? Beautiful as ever. Tempest, what's up, my neighbor to the true north? Smooth looking with that stash. Oh, and hey, Louie. Just kidding. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to stream this when my channel plays it. Sadie6969 Deegan said, well, if it isn't the coolest dudes in WrestleTalk, this is my formal apology to Tempest for missing the NXT live stream today. I watched on catch-up, but I'm sorry. How do you think they'll book the Moxley Kingston versus Kenny Nakazawa match? Love you, hotties. That. Well, I don't think any of us thought it would be like that, because I think all of us thought it would be just like, no, the babyface will just kill Nakazawa. Here's Andy. Andy's back, everyone.
No idea. My internet just went nope for a bit, and I restarted the router. But I'm here. What happened?
So Moxley and Kingston won, and then the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks attacked them after the match. And Kenny laid out Kingston with the one-winged angel. We're going to find out today on this show who's going to face Omega at the pay-per-view. And they also announced Britt Baker versus Shida for the pay-per-view as well for the women's title.
So who's your bets for that? Are we all going Christian Cage?
Oh, I think it's two.
Or Brian?
I think it's two.
It's one of the two.
Against Omega?
Yeah.
For the pay-per-view?
I mean, Brian Cage is number one, isn't he?
I suppose, yeah.
That's why I think the announcement might be we're going to do Christian Cage versus Brian Cage like next week or something. Winner progresses to Double or Nothing to face Kenny. I think because that kind of leads into the Team Taz stuff, makes the rankings kind of make sense. I think that's what they may do, and then Christian wins.
Oh God, if they do Kenny Omega and Christian Cage at the pay-per-view, God, I will just like squeal.
Well, you'll probably spoil it.
Imagine telling yourself in 2019 that there'll be a major wrestling promotion putting on Kenny Omega and Christian Cage and the Young Bucks versus John Moxley and Eddie Kingston. It's just to think like 2 years how much has changed.
They're also doing the NXT War Games gimmick as well of switching rings depending on what match we're on now. So they've moved over to the second ring.
Keep it fresh. What's everyone's predictions for this one?
Ooh.
I'd like to see QT win, just because I think like it's particularly I can see them doing it the finish where Anthony Ogogo hits the gut punch.
Yeah,
and that's how QT gets the victory.
Could you see Ogogo punching Anderson?
Oh God!
Well, I don't want to kill him.
I'm still waiting for someone to do the Rey Mysterio spot from like '96 in WCW, where he does the Hurricane Rana springboard from one rope to the next rope and then do the move.
Yeah.
If Ray Phoenix or someone was on this show, that's the move that I would want to see.
Who's on the tag match? Jungle Boy, I think.
It's
Jungle
Jurassic
Boy.
Express, Varsity Blondes, SCU, and
The Acclaimed.
the Acclaimed. Well, the Acclaimed.
If we're getting something, it's probably Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
What was the match that was going to decide the Omega?
No, so
We don't
that
know.
was just speculation on my part. They said that we got a major announcement for it, and I speculated it might be they'll announce we're going to have Christian Cage and Brian Cage next week or something. Winner faces Kenny, but we don't know. It's just going to be a major announcement tonight.
Is this a no GQ match, or are they allowed to hit people?
Well, yeah, it's a weird spot, isn't it? Because the referee just stopped Cody from using the weight belt as a weapon because it's like, well, you can't use that. It's a weapon. And with that distraction, allowed QT Marshall to use his weight belt as a weapon. So just DQ him then. Like if you were going to DQ Cody for doing it, like just DQ QT for doing it then.
Did Cody get a shot in with the belt before?
No.
All right, then, yeah, that didn't make much sense. Because I was going to say, like, if he got one shot and it was like, hey, you can't do that, give me that. And then QT got a shot in, it's like, all right, you've had one apiece, now play fair. You know, referee's discretion type thing.
Yeah.
Is QT just like what's his sort of history in the bit? Is he just Cody's mate? Or has he wrestled a lot, like for Ring of Honor or Impact?
He's been a trainer for years.
He wrestled for Ring of Honor and I think some PWG matches like years ago, but I think it was kind of like a Brandon Cutler situation where he was a wrestler, was still friends with a lot of the guys, but took a job doing backstage stuff and then ultimately like, hey, yeah, we can use you, and has ended up in a high-level feud here.
I mean, he was an enhancement talent for NXT at one point. He did some stuff down there. I mean, I think the Brandon Cutler comparison's a little harsh because I do think QT is like he's not to say that Brandon Cutler hasn't got there on his own merit, but I think QT like he probably does deserve this shot. And I think like he's one of those people that you'll speak to people and they'll be like, yeah, wrestling wise, he could have made it like he could have been like a very solid hand, just maybe character wise and promo wise, there was something lacking. But he's cut some good promos lately.
Yeah, I didn't mean a comparison to Brandon Cutler as in like getting there based on who he was friends with, more just that he gave up wrestling for a while and then ultimately came back out of it.
So I was the cynic and thought you were just like, they've just got jobs because they're friends with the Bucks.
And that right. So Arn Anderson has now punched QT, and that's also not a DQ.
Yeah, it looks like he's throwing him out though. So at least there's that.
What you have to realize, Andy, is the rules are quite lax in AEW. You just, I think we're all used to it.
I have watched AEW before. I'm going
to disagree there, Louis. I think the rules are very, very strict in AEW, just not in Cody matches, because
or tag matches.
Cody is a like an island unto himself.
It is like Cody's like, right, we're gonna do like it's WCW hour where we do my things.
Exactly, yeah. It's just like, okay, you're doing your thing. Now it's time for me to do my thing. And in my thing, we don't have a DQ for this.
I mean, I guess sending Arn to the back opens Cody up for attack from QT's mates.
I was going to say, you know what? When people are like, "Oh, it's too much of the stuff Cody wants," you know what? Fair play to him. He's earned this shot. Yeah. I wish I was in a position where I could be like, you know what? I want to do that on my national wrestling product. Let's do that.
Trying to watch it at the small corner of my screen that is the picture-in-picture.
Is it restaurant quality?
Oh, are you in ad break? Are you?
Yeah. I'm watching a Red Bull commercial right now.
Again, why is this? DQ him, ref.
Stop it, Andy. Because we're going to be here all night talking about this.
Say, yeah, I think at that point.
I saw some people in the chat talking earlier about how we've already seen blood and guts, and it was in the hockey game tonight. And oh boy, they aren't kidding. Whew.
What happened in the hockey game?
So the last hockey game, one of the most infamous dirty players in the league had another guy face down on the ice and punched him in the back while he was down. Ow. And this is a guy who's been suspended 10 times, and they just won't kick him out of the league. And then he grabbed the star player making $11 million on the other team and threw him to the ground, and now he's out for the rest of the season. And the league didn't suspend the guy, and now they were playing again, and they dropped the puck, and there was a line brawl. Everyone was already fighting, right off the drop of the puck. So they did a shot of the penalty box, and it was there was 6 guys in there.
Were there 2 rinks with a cage over the top?
Oh, but there should have been. I would have paid to see that. If they put a cage over the rink, money. I would bet that's the most watched hockey game of the year.
Hockey does seem to just be an excuse for people to hit each other.
Sure is.
Says the 4 men watching wrestling.
Yeah.
but hockey's not real.
Oh, this is true. This is true.
Indeed. I wish it wasn't. I am now back from commercial. In case we don't know.
Here from Monkey Biscuits. Pretty convinced we're going to get Orange Cassidy versus Omega at Double or Nothing. Tony Khan is really milking the Pixies theme.
You got to get your money's worth.
I don't know about that.
No, I don't know about that one either. I didn't see what the rankings were before this show started. But I think I'm going to lean more towards what Louis is thinking. If I would have, because they made such a big deal out of the Hangman Page being number 1 for so long, I think taking him out of that, from last week with the loss to Brian Cage, that has to surely play into something.
And again, similar to what Tempest was saying with the announcement, I think they're going to want Christian on the show in some capacity. If you're having lapsed viewers, maybe some that are like, oh no, I remember that War Games thing, I want to watch that. They're like, oh yeah, I remember Christian as well. So maybe we'll get some big Christian Cage announcement or something at least, so people are like, okay, he's here.
Isn't there someone whose contract just expired in WWE who could?
If he
turns
turns up,
about this when you were gone.
If he turns up, I'm shaving my head. That's how confident I am. He's not turning up.
He's going to re-sign.
But imagine if he doesn't.
Oh, QT's bum came out.
Oh, no.
To blur it. But imagine if
did you see
Brian
his QT Marshall?
Really had to get that pun in. Really had to. But imagine Brian shows up with the final countdown.
Oh, I know. I was thinking about that today.
Well, maybe Sammy's written out or something, and then they attack Sammy backstage, and they're 1 man down.
People are making a good point.
Yeah,
Andrade. He did challenge him.
I don't, and I kind of get that as a certain potential, but I don't know if do you want to just bring in the ex-WWE guy and then just immediately put them into the title picture? I think they get accused of it a lot. Do you want to just play into those optics of what people already think of you?
If Brian does come, you can do that 100%, because I think the Kenny Omega Daniel Bryan match sells itself. And with all due respect to everyone in AEW, Brian walks in as the biggest star without question. So I think with stuff like that, but when you've got I do think Daniel Bryan walks in as the biggest star.
Chris Jericho?
With the exception of maybe Chris Jericho.
Ooh, close.
Maybe other than Chris Jericho.
Goodness me. This is a good match.
Yeah, it's really good. It's good, a solid TV match. I think it's the sort of thing that you guys were saying before I got here. If this had been on pay-per-view, it'd have been but on TV, it's less of a problem.
I mean, could it be someone from Impact coming in to try and win back the Impact belt?
That would involve promoting Impact.
That's true.
Isn't it because Impact won't pay for it though? Isn't that what Tony was saying?
So my issue with it was. Oh, hang on.
Oh goodness.
We're going to reversal the tombstone.
Oh, that was almost as
I do
well
love
as
this. I
Road
do
did
love
it.
The reversal. And another reversal. Tombstone pile driver by Cody Rhodes.
Do the
1,
thing.
2. Oof, near fall.
So my issue with it was, I understand not wanting to promote Impact, not wanting to promote their show, but there should have been a nod to the fact that there was a slight chance that the AEW World Championship could have gone to a non-AEW contracted talent. I think for me, it was like, they're not making a big deal out of it. So it's like, are you not worried that your title could like be leaving the promotion? Basically, I think it would have actually been more beneficial if, like the Bucks just
1,
said,
2. Oh wow, QT just kicked out Crossroads.
they're putting him over. But yeah, I think it would have been more beneficial if, like, even just the Bucks had a line where they're just like, make sure you bring that title home on Sunday.
Oh yeah, totally.
Or something like that.
I'm certainly not disagreeing with that, because like I said on this show, up and down the shows leading up to Impact's, like I was like, dude, like they are not putting this over whatsoever. But as I said, like I believe what if you want to believe what Tony is saying, is because he legit pays for AEW to appear on Impact.
Does
and,
he?
He's paying like those paid for advertisement spots are legit him actually paying for advertising.
Yeah.
And Impact are not doing the
Oh,
they're not paying.
Well,
there you go.
QT taps. Yep, there you go. Figure 4 QT taps.
Oh, Christ.
Oh,
Cody
God.
What happened to
Managed
Cody?
to cut his eyeball open.
Cody was
Looks
like, I hear there's blood in the main event. No,
When did that happen?
I'm going to bleed.
How did he manage to bleed without doing anything to
It's
cut
Cody.
his eye?
I think his skin's made of like cling film at this point. It's just so thin.
I mean, because
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I thought they would have done
QT just
something.
put
Oh,
his
you go.
middle finger
I
up
was
and
about to
then
say,
he started
I would have
bleeding.
thought they would have done something with Anthony Ogogo, and here he comes.
The governor.
Maybe this is the match that he wants.
Oh, is that
Maybe
the
they
double
do
or
this
nothing
at
match?
Double or Nothing. Cody and Anthony Ogogo.
Former Strictly Come Dancing star. Oh,
Legit
yeah.
On Strictly Come Dancing.
Yeah, he wasn't very good, but he was on it. I think he was with OT Mabuse.
I mean, I tell you what, I'd be more interested in a Cody Anthony Ogogo match than I would a Cody QT match on pay-per-view. So, yeah, if that's what they want to do, then fair play.
I don't want to make myself sound like a potential Bad Bunny hater here, but I had no idea who Anthony Ogogo was before he started wrestling in AEW.
I only knew because of Strictly Come Dancing, to be honest.
I followed boxing a bit, so I knew he was the guy that like had to retire because of eye problems. But when some people on social media were like, he's a mainstream star in the UK, and I'm like, is he?
Yeah,
I
was
don't
gonna
think he
say,
is.
No. Nice touch with the flag.
we're getting a promo from Sky and Page. It's nice, like felt like something from Burton's Batman movie.
It does. A low angle shot.
Well, yeah, a little bit like actually, wasn't it like it's Jim Carrey's Riddler? Was just like, riddle me this, riddle me that. I think that is legit a line from Batman Forever.
I would not doubt it for a second. I mean, you would know. You're the person who loves that movie more than anyone else.
Batman, I mean, it is better than all of the Nolan movies, so it would make sense.
So you keep saying.
Oh,
One
there's
day.
We have comments here jumping to the defense of Anthony Ogogo 2 here in a row. He is a household name.
He's not though. He's not. He did well in the Olympics, and that's about it.
Maybe
And then he was
just out
on.
of
I think he was like maybe in Strictly Come Dancing for 4 or 5 weeks, but he wasn't very good because he hurt his knee, and therefore he was very stiff.
Here is what I would say in regards to like if he is a household name or not. When Tyson Fury did his gimmick with WWE and did the Saudi Arabia match, that made BBC news. Like that
Yeah.
made BBC Breakfast did like a news story on that. They
Well, we
haven't
got
mentioned
Alan-
Anthony Ogogo wrestling whatsoever.
We got Darby Allin attacking.
Oh, Christ.
Sky and
Ow.
Edge. Have you seen?
I'm like, second page into that. Come on.
Ethan Page that was some weird selling from Ethan Page. Oh no, another bin. Oh! Oh no, don't do a stairs spot.
Uh-oh.
Have you guys seen the Ethan Page and Darby Allin match from Evolve?
I think I have actually.
But it's gnarly. It's really gnarly.
Someone mentioned it in our Omega chats last week. I was going to say, JR said you've made your point. I don't think they have. I think we might be getting a stair spot here. Yep, here we go.
Oh god.
Oh dear.
Oh, his knees.
He loves
Why
it.
would you willingly do that?
He absolutely loves it. He wanted to be doing that in a body bag with thumbtacks inside.
Yeah.
He wanted the stairs made out of fire.
He's like, right, make a fire at the bottom. They're like, no, Darby, chill. He's like, no. Fire, thumbtacks. Throw me off the roof.
Flaming thumbtacks. Find a way to do it. God, you couldn't bring backup. What's Sting doing?
Probably getting
Apparently,
interrupted by
Anthony
Team
Ogogo also
Test.
did Big Brother.
Oh, did he?
Maybe he is a bit of a not household name, but
I mean, I guess if you watch horrible TV, he might be a household name.
but I would say, like to what you're saying, I would say Tyson Fury is a household name. I reckon my mum, who doesn't watch sport, you'd be like, "Do you know who Tyson Fury is?" She'd be like, "Yes." If I asked her, actually, she'd probably know who Anthony Ogogo was through Strictly Come Dancing. It was a bad comparison to use my mum.
I was going to say, I think my mum would probably know him from Strictly Come Dancing. Yeah, she probably would have no idea who Tyson Fury is. I would say, though, in fairness, I didn't know who Tyson Fury was either. And
Really?
told me
I think
Blues Clue, mate. I think boxing is a load of bollocks, to be honest. And I had no idea who Tyson. I'd never heard of him until he did the thing with WWE.
my mum would probably say something like, "Isn't he that boxer?" But that's probably about it.
My mum would probably ask if I meant Mike Tyson. And I'd be like, no.
Darby gets beaten up. No, you say. I wonder if we're going to get another tag match then for Double or Nothing. Sting and Darby versus Page and Sky.
Or Sting and Lance.
Because I'm
Darby and Lance. Sorry, not Sting and Lance.
Because I'm used to watching NXT more, it feels weird not to have 19 producers running over to Darby and screaming at him to see if he's all right.
And you know when Triple H comes out, it's serious.
Oh, it's serious now.
There's got one guy going, "You fell down the stairs. You're right."
To be fair, it is Darby.
Yeah, I'm only thinking that it's going to be Darby and Sting because they did they took out Sting last week. So I would assume that Sting is going to be in the match in some capacity. But yeah, like you could do Sting and Lance if you're going to do Darby in the TNT thing. But I would have, my prediction for the TNT title was they would change that on TNT rather than do it change on the pay-per-view. So like the week before or whatever, Miro wins the belt.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you could even do Lance and Darby if you want to keep the Sting matches special. Because yes, the first one was great, but they will get not tired quickly. But like we saw with the cinematic matches, eventually we're all like, yeah, we've had enough of these now. And with all due respect to Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, I don't know if they're at the level that it's worth bringing Sting out for like a big match like that. I think you've got more big matches in the can that something would better be served for one of those. So I don't know. It could go either way. Probably something we haven't even thought of yet.
Well, let's get some of your Omega chats in. Thank you all so much for joining us here. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to the WrestleTalk Podcast channel. We are inching our way closely, very, very slowly, to 50,000 subscribers. And when we do, we're going to be doing a live stream reaction watch along to all 4 Attitude Era WrestleManias from 14 through to 17. Don't tell me that 18 isn't actually their pay-per-view. It isn't. Nick Corvello says, "Hey guys, can't watch this show because Dynamite isn't on yet in California. So I'll just say great job as always. And to the SWAF Nation members who played Raid, yes, please, if you're not playing anyone, leave the Authority Clan and make room for active players." Some stupid punk says donating to make Andy watch the whole broadcast in Spanish. AS said, listen to the Backlash 2000 review when I was driving home and got to the Austin Pop. Goosebumps again. Got so excited, I almost forgot I was driving. What are the chances we get a glimpse of that JR tonight? The carnage. Yeah, I hope we get a good JR tonight as opposed to a salty JR who's just like, this is dumb.
I mean, we're getting Tony Schiavone on commentary for a War Games match with Tully Blanchard stood outside the ring. Like, honestly, it's crazy. I just seen someone in the comments say TV titles aren't defended on pay-per-views. That's the entire point of the TV title. Darby Allin won the TNT title at Full Gear.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it has been defended a couple of times on
which is a pay-per-view. Yeah. I like main eventing Dynamite with the TNT title match often. I think that's good, but yeah, they can still be defended on pay-per-view.
Britt Baker just making her entrance,
Britt
by the
Baker.
way.
She is great. And she's going to be facing off against Julia Hart, making her Dynamite debut.
Goodness, she looks like she's like 12.
Not last
I was going to say, she doesn't look like she should be allowed to legally wrestle at this age.
Goodness. Well, was it, I think it was Kylan King who wrestled on Dynamite last year, the same day as her high school graduation. And it was just like
Kenzie Page. Not
okay.
Kylan. It was one of the, crazy. I mean, Anna Jay's 22.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, when this is how, like, I'm not going to say that I'm getting old at all because that's ridiculous, but seeing wrestlers wrestle on national TV that are younger than me was a moment where I was like, wow, a generation has now passed, and now they're the ones who are coming up.
I found out how old she is. Do people want to give a prediction?
Who?
Julia Hart.
I did 19.
Yeah, I'd have said 19 or 20.
She's 19, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, like Roxy, who was in the ROH's Women Division Wednesday last week, she was 19 then. Like, it's just nuts to me because I'm a man who is 35 years old. They're 16 years younger than me. Like,
yeah, that's a whole. There's a whole British driver younger than you.
I was speaking to one of, I can't remember the name of me, one of the Top Flight boys who's younger than me, and the other one's like my age, and I was like, this shouldn't be happening.
That was a good debut.
Yeah, there was a period of time when all of the wrestlers that I watched were older than me. So it's like, I'm watching the cool adults, and now I'm an old adult and I'm just watching kids, and I'm like, oh, but I'm not the cool adult. Like, it's the same watching. Really lame.
It's the same watching football these days, where all the best players are now younger than me, and I'm like, what?
They're even younger than
Steven Gerrard. Like, I remember when Wayne Rooney was 18 when he was starting, and now he's retired.
Here we go. Taz is giving some insight into Christian Cage's moves, leading some credence to what Louis was saying earlier about possibly doing Cage versus Cage.
In the cage, no.
If they do Cage versus Cage, it has to be in a cage.
Oh, I wish he had a better finisher.
I like the Unprettier. I know that's like an unpopular opinion.
It's so easy to get out of. Like if in a non-kayfabe world, just walk away.
I think what I've realized from spending this time with you, Andy, is you try and use too much logic when you watch wrestling. Just sometimes it's just best to be like, there's no logic in any of this. Just enjoy it.
I like lots of wrestling. I think a finisher has to look really special, especially when you're someone like Christian.
I quite like it.
Varsity Blondes are out.
Pillman's hyped up. This is like his week. He's very excited for the debut of the Brian Pillman Vice documentary on Dark Side of the Ring, which I believe airs tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's just been talking about this match like all week.
Yeah, because he did a thing on Dark as well last night as well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
This entrance music is so good.
It's my favorite thing. Now, I already like Jurassic Express a lot, and to just add in a really cool song on top of it,
I was actually listening to Jim Johnston talk about just how important entrance music is. And you don't realize it until you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
I think you realize it as soon as you tune into NXT and everyone's just got generic theme through 4 through 12 throughout the whole show.
I've never been more upset than at Stand and Deliver when Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole came out. And I was like, they got the same entrance theme. And I was like, no, it's different, but it's basically the same.
Well, it's like when both Bailey and Seth Rollins changed their music within the space of a week, and we're like, they've just given everyone the same music now.
Yeah.
It's really weird for a company that puts so much emphasis on entrances. Like, WWE's whole deal is just like, it is about the entrances and it is about the finish. The match in between does not matter a jot. To then like give everyone just such generic music.
It's all about money. It's all about money. It's all about saving money. They'll have something generic as opposed to creating something that's got a bit more razzmatazz. But then we say that with like when you have Roman Reigns, who I love his new entrance theme. I think it just suits him so well.
And apparently they were working on that for like months and months and months. Apparently what Sean was saying on Fightful, I think it might have been on Fightful Select on his podcast, was like they spent upwards of like 4 to 6 months getting that right, and like putting it forward to someone, and it then getting like sent back being like, no, we need to change it to this and this. So I guess it just matters if you matter to the company, you will the time will be put into your entrance music. Like, but if you don't, which is probably everybody else, then you're just getting generic.
I like Roman's as well, but even his is got the same kind of idea as Seth Rollins and Bailey's, which is kind of and then proper music after that.
And the thing is as well, a lot of that would have come from Roman, like a lot of his storylines do as well. It would have been Roman being like, no, I don't like that. But it is when you go back and watch old Attitude Era pay-per-views, you realize like that glass shattering, how many of Austin's iconic moments would have been ruined if you just had like some generic Dana Brooke music. Seems like she got new music every week, or I just tune out the music because I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and what baffles me the most is there are so many talented people in music that haven't been able to get a break. Like, if you just put out an application for like composer for WWE and just had people send in, their mixes and different beats that they've made, I would bet you would be able to find someone who would probably work for like not a whole lot. Like, I reckon these days Jim Johnson is probably pretty expensive, because he's a name, he's been around forever. But you could find someone who would be affordable, who could make better music than what they've got right now.
Would you guys like to see Jim Johnston work with AEW?
He interestingly said they've not offered him anything.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm asking.
He was surprised. He does seem like a very AEW-like signing. They'd be like, we've signed Jim Johnson. I'm like, I could see that. I could see AEW signing.
Because while there are some good, like, fun AEW entrances, obviously like that one, like, there are very few which I would sort of know. If we were playing the game on Quizlemania and someone said, do Eddie Kingston's entrance music, I'd go,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would need a little while to like be like, how's that go again?
Yeah, even top guys. Like, I don't think John Moxley's music in AEW is particularly memorable.
I couldn't tell you what it is.
I love it. I love his. I love Darby Allin.
That's one of the few I think I could do.
Darby Allin's as well.
Yeah.
Who else has got quite? MJF's got quite good music. Obviously,
Omega's got great theme.
Yeah, you've obviously got Judas, which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not great, but it's great for wrestling. Not a great
song from a great band.
I'm going to put them over. It's the best song they've ever done. I also think it's probably one of the only good songs they've ever done, but it is the best song they've ever done.
It's the only Judas song I have on my playlist.
But Luke,
Wait,
what about the classics like Enemy and All That Remains?
Enemy's such a crap song.
'Cause you're my enemy. All that we have is
seen
gone
Fozzy live
away.
a couple of times, and every time I watched them, I was like, God, this band is unremarkable. It's just there's nothing special or unique about this band whatsoever.
In 20 years' time, Luke, do you think you'll be doing a 1 hour loop of you singing the AEW Dynamite music?
Which is quite good, in fairness.
It's never going to be as iconic as the Smackdown theme.
Luke, what's the best wrestling show theme song?
I think that would be Across the Nation, the Raw theme.
Sorry, right answer.
Now get the gun, watching
Yeah, that was on SmackDown. Shut your mouth.
Move to the music,
Yeah.
music, move to the
music,
get
it
it out.
out.
I'm watching the viewership just go in the hundreds. Enough of this singing.
Oh, it's great though. I missed so many things by just like either weeks or months when I started watching wrestling. Pete and I were talking about this on the SmackDown review last week, how I missed the Fist stage by like 1 week. Because they moved to HD like the week I started watching wrestling. And that was another thing. They changed to the Papa Roach song for Raw that I can't remember the name of, To Be Loved, like right after I started watching, or right before I started watching, rather.
My tweet of "Please fist me, Fox" went down quite well on Friday night. Do you think we see the fist?
No. Because they didn't plan it. They would have actually had to plan it to get that. Because I'm assuming it takes some level of creating.
Well,
no,
it's
in a warehouse. It's in a warehouse, yeah. And they're in the same venue. They're in the same venue, so yeah. I don't know. I don't know if we do. I think we might get the original SmackDown set.
I just don't see why they would do that in front of no people.
Ratings.
Yeah.
No, yes, I know why they would do it, but I don't understand in a logical person's mind.
See, there you go with that logic again.
Exactly.
Sorry. Like, do it for SmackDown's, I don't know, the season premiere of SmackDown in whenever October it, when you might actually have some fans in the building.
Got a bit of a hot take here. And for the last 2 weeks, SmackDown's been the best wrestling show out there for me. I think so.
That main event last week was awesome.
I loved it.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's the best only because like I do not need to see Big E versus Apollo Crews again, and I don't need to see Nia Jax and Tamina have matches again. Like it is outside of the main event, that show is so repetitive. It has all the same problems that Raw has. It just has a much better main event scene.
The thing is, and I was speaking to my brother about this, and he was like, "What do you enjoy about SmackDown?" And he was like, "Just the Roman Reigns stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, but that is like an hour of the show."
Oh yeah,
it does take up a long portion.
I was writing my
main event.
I was writing my piece for the magazine this week, and it was like show of the month, and I was like, SmackDown, where the Roman Reigns Daniel Bryan main event. I don't really remember the rest of the show, but that was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like we're going to get.
They started they started that segment with 45 minutes left in the show. So like half of that show was the Daniel Bryan Reigns main event.
Yeah, and it does look like we're going to get Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Big E, and Apollo Crews at WrestleMania Backlash, which should be great. It gives me that like Extreme Rules 2016 where they just merged The Miz, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens. They were like, you're 4 good workers around the mid card. I know I've just called The Miz a good worker, but just let me off. So like I think that we could get another version of that, which could be quite cool. We're actually speaking on Wrestling Daily today. I put The Miz in a Mount Rushmore of wrestling for Daniel Bryan rivalries.
I would put The Miz on a Mount Rushmore of wrestlers who have been a wrestler. He is no one's like biggest feud ever.
No, I genuinely think The Miz was one of the four most important people in shaping Daniel Bryan's career and shaping what we know Daniel Bryan to be. I think he's up there for sure.
I think Daniel Bryan shaped The Miz's career. I don't think The Miz shaped Daniel Bryan's in any capacity whatsoever.
I was watching the W24 Miz documentary, and it's genuinely interesting. It's just a shame that he's just still The Miz, I guess.
Thing is, it seems like
he's a 3-star wrestler.
Yeah, he's a good talker, and he has a few moves.
He seems like the loveliest guy, though, behind the scenes. Totally. In all of the Miz and Mrs. stuff, you look like you're in disagreement, Tempest, or was that you shaking your mask?
I mean, sure, I don't know. I don't know The Miz well enough to comment on how he is backstage, but anything I've ever heard about him is like, he's nice, but God, you just want to punch him in the mouth. He's so annoying.
Well, he said that himself, I think.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like someone that I want to hang out with.
That was a near fall from SCU there.
You always know when someone's annoying when they go, I'm just a really honest person. I just tell people what I think. You're like, oh no. So I'm assuming this match counts in the whole, if SCW lose.
Well, that's why this match is happening, because they're all in the top 5 rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oof. Bill was going to get the full in there.
And winner gets the match next week on Dynamite title match.
Yeah. It's really getting kind of overshadowed by obviously the blood and guts match that's coming up now. But I'm really looking forward to next week. You got Nagata and Jon Moxley. Like, that's going to be incredible. And then you've got this tag title match.
Shot over on the tombstone. Surely that's it now. 1,
that'll do it.
2, 3. Oh man, pinning Pillman seems unfair.
Yeah, there's so many other guys you could have done that to. There's 5 other people.
You literally got Griff Garrison right there. Pin him.
I will say, wouldn't have QT Marshall kick out of a tombstone if you're going to have the tombstone be a finish of this match.
Yeah, but it's the best moonsault ever.
I know it's with the added moonsault. I understand that. But
it's not just any moonsault, though, Louis.
It is the best
moonsault ever.
Yeah, it's like saying that the Young Bucks wouldn't be able to convincingly use the Meltzer driver. It's like it's a tombstone with a flip. It's the same thing. It's just a different flip.
This comment from Harrison got me. I guess Pillman was having too good of a week.
Yeah,
probably.
I like Io Shirai's moonsault as well.
For Moxley and his United States Championship run, who he's beaten.
Oh, the Suzuki match is like, it's not the best match of 2020, but it might be like my favorite match of 2020. That match was just like, it was perfect for what it was.
So for people that might not be aware, Tempest, give us a little. I was
literally going to ask the same thing.
On Nagata, tell us a little bit about him for those that might be not New Japan watchers.
Well, Yuji Nagata was the ace of New Japan before Hiroshi Tanahashi. He was the guy who was carrying the company through its darkest period, which sometimes gets used against him when being talked about in like a Hall of Fame context, where he's really good. He's one of the best in-ring performers in the history of New Japan, and think of the ground that covers. But at the same time, his period on top was the worst period for business in New Japan's history. So he's the guy. He's like 53 years old now, so he's a ways past the peak of being in the IWGP heavyweight title picture, but he's just been kind of like, he's been the guy who works with the young lion talent and the lower level talent. He hasn't been in a G1 in I think 4 years, but he still has really good matches when he's there, and he's held like the never open weight title a couple times, maybe once, I don't know. But he's still really good. Like, that's the thing with the New Japan guys, is guys like him and Kojima don't get pushed because they're so much older than everyone else, and probably shouldn't be pushed to the level of other guys, but they're still so good. So you can put him in a match like this, and they're just going to have an incredible match next week. And I fully expect them to, you know?
That was a great video package as well.
Yeah, and that's Yuji Nagata in 2 minutes.
There we go. The cage is
look at
all
that.
set. We have got Blood and Guts coming up next. So it is going to be, the last hour of the show. I think there's a lot of people predicted it would be.
Right, I'm going to run to the loo then. If we're in for the hour.
Yeah.
Power Package 90 says the fact that major US press and sports network were covering this show. I wonder if this could get close to Raw numbers. Not saying it will beat them though. I think this will do a pretty good number. I would wager.
I'm going to go 1.4.
Yeah, I'd have said something like that. I wouldn't have gone probably any higher than that. I'd be really surprised if it was higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
The bad one, Ryan B. Bad, said, with Blood and Guts being the second only cage match in AEW, who on the women's side would you like to see in a cage match? Say any combo of Nyla, Shida, Britt, Rosa, Jade. My other favorite being Britt versus Rosa again, or Nyla versus Jade. I mean, what I would like to, it's probably like Rose, not Rose, sorry, Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's kind of keep escalating.
Mm-hmm.
Their matches.
Kenny Omega with all of his belts.
Oh, he looks like what a knob. But
I love him so much. What an amazing heel he is.
I saw Jeremy Lambert. He said that he reckons this is going to get 2 million. And Louis was very quick to say, "Are you joking?" on Twitter. So we will see.
I also told him I wanted whatever he was smoking.
Mm.
I think it'll be 1.4. I think maybe the most watched Dynamite will be up there with the debut.
How many people are there?
I don't know,
but it's very, very packed out. Not like that packed out because you can see lots of empty seats, but it feels like they got a really good house for it.
It's not his waist.
The TNA championships there. Collecting gold.
what do we think is the next belt that he collects?
Universal.
I think he could get FTW as a quick and easy one from Cage.
Hmm. Who else do they work with, I guess?
Depending on how soon travel opens up, I think he could win the DDT title.
Hmm.
Wow, Pac versus Cassidy. Winner gets double or nothing.
Well, that's a decision.
I mean, Pac beat Omega, didn't he?
When? Like
With
2 years ago.
A long time ago. I'm just thinking back to any sort of history that they're going to pull out of it.
I mean, it better be fucking Pac. Sorry, excuse my language. It better be Pac. Who was that guy that we all laughed at when he said it's going to be Orange Cassidy? And we're like,
yeah,
we think you're high.
What? Yeah.
This kind of made Brian Cage's win last week feel a bit. I thought that was going to set him. Maybe not.
Pac and Orange Cassidy had one of my favorite matches of all time in AEW.
Yeah, me too. You know, this would be the kind of match that Orange Cassidy would have. You know, like Kenny Omega would love to wrestle Orange Cassidy in a pay-per-view main event.
I don't know about pay-per-view main event. Maybe I'm just being cynical, but can you sell a pay-per-view on Orange Cassidy
I mean, you say that, but Cassidy is like one of their biggest rating draws.
I know, I don't get it. I get Orange Cassidy. I get Orange Cassidy. I just don't know, like, maybe this is like an old school mentality, but I don't know if I would go to a show specifically to watch this match.
Yeah, well, you may not, Louis, but I think that Cassidy has proven, like, as considering how well he does with his merch as well, that he also does shift tickets.
Oh, he does. Yes, maybe.
I think it's one of those things where it's like there's been a few wrestlers over the years where I've been like I don't get it, but the crowd love it, so clearly I'm in the wrong here. Like all the Lashley Lana stuff, like I thought it was absolutely bobbins, but the crowd went nuts for it every single week, and it drew in ratings, so it worked for someone.
I don't know how it worked for anyone, but it did.
Either.
I get he's a ratings. Yes, I get he's a ratings draw, but I for a pay-per-view match, considering the maybe I'm thinking it from an in-ring. I don't know. I'm digging myself a hole here.
I will say this does feel like a world title match that would go on a pay-per-view when they have another match to do.
Yeah.
Like similar to last year's Double or Nothing when they had Stadium Stampede.
If they were doing Blood and Guts on Double or Nothing, I'd be like, okay, I understand. Like, you're going to have this as like your semi-main, like maybe like a fun, light-hearted match that gets kind of serious. I don't know whether Orange Cassidy is your main event, right? He is going to be the guy to put on the final match. I don't know. For me, he's not that guy. But I'm willing to be proved wrong.
Could you do the next chapter in the Jericho MJF in the main event?
I think unless Jericho's career's on the line, no. If Jericho's career's on the line, then probably. Did he steal his sunglasses?
He did.
Wow, this feud serious.
And he's put the glass onto Michael Nakazawa. The
Badly.
He did poke him in the eye in the process.
He should have turned around. He should have turned around and he would have been wearing another pair of glasses.
Tempest, if AEW ever works with New Japan, do you think New Japan would ever let Omega take their top belt as well?
Not like take it and leave. I don't think it would necessarily. I don't know, maybe. I mean, I think that's obviously the culmination of all of this. If he's going to be a belt collector, the biggest belt he can collect feasibly would be the IWGP World Heavyweight title.
Because it's so beautiful.
Yeah. But I don't know what they would do with the run. Because of, like, we've seen what happens with the U.S. title, where it's just like, they just don't have a U.S. title for a year, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could have a mega kind of, like, you don't really want your champion to leave, but you could kind of have him leave America for a bit to do some stuff in Japan for a month or so.
If he wants to have like just an incredible run where he's doing like the Moxley thing of flying back and forth to Japan and just working like a 3 or 4 month stretch as champion, I think that would be like an all-time classic Hall of Fame credential moment for him. Like being the champion of 2 major promotions, like, and really doing it. Oof.
Interesting comment that a couple of people brought up in the chat. Do you finish the Mox and Omega feud with Omega winning the US title?
Yes, you could do that.
Considered it.
Not a bad idea, actually.
There are also people suggesting the NWA championship or the title, and
I don't know if they'll ever do the deal with them in order for him to win that belt. Like, I think it'd be a great belt for him to win. I think a really easy one would be to win Rev Pro's title. I think if you can travel, can open up, that's a really easy.
So it's whether Rev Pro will have a deal with both New Japan and.
Is that Zack Sabre
AEW,
Jr. or is
Will Ospreay.
Is it still Ospreay?
Well, he hasn't defended it.
It's
been like a year.
Into like shows for ages, have they?
No, but they defended it quite a few times on like the Wrestle Kingdom and stuff. I didn't know whether he dropped that to him.
No. Yeah, he's just carried the belt since he's won it, but I don't think he's defended it. He may have defended it like once on a New Japan show, but yeah, it's been Ospreay.
I was absolutely go on. I'll let you. We've got a lot of ultra chats.
We've got a lot of Omega chats to get through. Michael Salmon said, "Great start to Blood and Guts with Moxley and Kingston. Really looking forward to the 4-way tag team elimination match. Wasn't an elimination match in the end. Hopefully, Fight TV won't miss anything or cut out like the last few weeks." Hamlet says, "Luke, do you think you'll ever watch Being the Elite on YouTube? You're missing some of the AEW story, and if you don't want to do it, make Tempest or Louie watch." I think Tempest just watches it regardless anyway.
Yeah, I watch Being the Elite.
I watch it.
I used to watch it every week, but like there's too much stuff for me to watch, and I just never get around to it. Nate S. Already regretting not going tonight, but I'll be at Double or Nothing. Fully vaxxed, still rocking a mask, and I'm comfortable with an outdoor venue. Excited to be part of likely wrestling history. Rangers Mayhem said, "This show should be great." Tempest, can I get your opinion on the lack of suspension of Tom Wilson? A Rangers fan thought it was stupid. Games today was just a slugfest with 6 fights in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's garbage. You know, I won't go into a whole song and dance about the NHL here because I did it already, but I mean, it's ridiculous to think that can happen with anybody and not have a suspension issued, let alone a repeat offender with as much history doing that garbage as Tom Wilson. I don't get it. I don't think he should be in the league, let alone just being suspended.
Jose Vasquez said, "You guys have different takes on wrestling, which is what makes the channel great. My question is, which one of you guys is most sensitive when the take isn't the most popular? Thanks."
What?
I'm
Who gets
used
the
to
most
my
upset? Yeah,
I'm used to my takes being unpopular, so I think I'm quite. I don't know. I think we're all not sensitive about that stuff. We quite like debate. All mirrors here.
I'm very sensitive, just in general.
I just didn't want to say it.
Oh, he looks so cool.
Mirrors promo.
Also, check out my wife again on the Raw next week.
Ooh, he announces the Darby Allin match.
Title change next week. Title change next week. Yeah, I think we're seeing it. What a great TNT champion he'd be as well. They got there in the end with Miro. We were all a bit worried, but they did get there in the end.
I mean, as soon as you got rid of this partnership with Kip Sabian, he's been fantastic.
I mean, in hindsight, it's kind of one of those things like, I mean, if they're going to bring him in, I guess he was doing something rather than not doing anything at all. Because they clearly had a plan. They clearly had a plan for him eventually, but
are we still getting the bachelor party?
Yeah,
this is going to be a great show.
Next week.
Yeah, so I guess they've just announced there, the Pac and Orange Cassidy thing. They did highlight they are the ranked number 1 and number 2 guys. So in a way, I guess it totally does make sense. That
Cody's going to make a double or nothing announcement.
An announcement.
Maybe they're hoping with this week's show with an increased viewership to make next week's show even bigger, not even bigger, but
just as big.
Yeah. So if you're watching this, you're being like, damn, I've got a lot of title matches to watch next week.
Well, to be fair, this is how traditional successful hot shotting is usually done, where you take a match or a show that has increased viewership, and then you build up the next week's show to give those people a reason to come back and stick around. And hopefully you just have those same people stick around for another week after that and just make them regular viewers. But like, what a show next week. That card is stacked.
Stacked card next week. Really stacked card next week.
To be honest, once the entrances have been done, I guess we'll get maybe 35 minutes.
Well, each entrance, they're coming at 5-minute intervals. So you're quite good at maths, Andy.
Yeah. And how many of them are there? There are 8 of them. But I guess 2 of them will start. So there's need to be 6 entrances. So at least half an hour.
Is it 4-on-4? Are the big guys not in?
No, 5-on-5.
Oh, so is it? Oh, well, in that case, they need to start quickly. Maybe they've been given a bit of extra time.
Also, bearing in mind it is wrestling entrances. So while it says like there will be a 5-minute period, it's not actually like 5 minutes.
That's
like,
true.
There will be a new entrant in the Royal Rumble every 90 seconds.
They're all in matching white
There'll be a new entrant
gear.
in the Royal Rumble when we need a new entrant in the Royal Rumble.
Look at them, matching white gear.
That's going to be covered in blood.
That's exactly why they've done the white gear.
Yep.
Yep.
We're into
I
another
love
ad
this.
break. Anrung Siravasta, sorry, I'm saying that completely wrong. Everyone has their dream matches for the released WWE wrestlers, or like Joe versus Kingston promo battles. I'd love to see Billy Kay and John Silver in backstage segments and BTE together, 2 funniest people in all of wrestling.
Billy Kay needs to turn up in every single promotion with a resume. And be like,
I hate that gimmick.
She'd be like, you should hire me.
It's good. It's actually better. I take that back. It's actually pretty good. I just want to see them back together again. Illness that shouldn't have split them up in the first place. Illness 32, such a lovely time with the boys. Thanks for staying up late, lads. I nearly didn't. Will be 33. They announced Kenny will be in a cage match, then announced Brian versus Christian in a cage versus cage #1 contender match. Also, thank you to our moderators who's pointed out that the new Streamlabs logo looks just like a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and it really does. Matt Boylan says, I was about to ask if we're meant to hate Cody as British people. He has no redeeming qualities. Then Anthony Ogogo came out and said, nope. Nice. Are we meant to hate Cody as British people? I don't think so. I don't hate Cody. I think Cody's great. Adam Blandplate said, Cody is the reason I don't watch AEW and would rather spend money on the best wrestling YouTubers. Jam that jam. Thank you very much for joining us. Ricardo Holt said, hey, boys, a great stream. Isn't Kenny a great asshole? He really
Sure is.
He is.
The Zorni's Tempest favorite said, morning, here's a non-German Omega chat to tell you that I love the way, starting with WrestleMania, WrestleTalk has brought together wrestling media and how you've spiced up the team. How SRS is your go-to mystery man, or Adam Pearce comes out onto shows. Francisco Tapia says, do you guys think that the wrestler of the year is currently a 2-man race between Reigns and Omega? Can someone or anyone catch them?
It's a 1-man race, unfortunately.
And that man is Will Ospreay. Will be 33 said, no one does the perplex. What do I do now look like Tony Schiavone? Yeah, he's very good. Like, Tony's very, very good in his role. I also want to say as well, like, I mean, when I say Will Ospreay, he is having like legit all of the best matches.
Yeah.
So like, there is absolutely no doubt that he is one of like easily probably going to be one of the top wrestlers by the end of this year. And
He's the top. He's the top.
And he's got the ugliest belt.
I mean, he's not the 24/7 champion, so there's that. But
it was the downgrade from what were 2 beautiful belts to this just ugly looking thing. At least the 24/7 belt was always crap. This had such a downgrade.
Someone followed me on Twitter 41 minutes ago just to tell me that they don't think the Batman Forever is better than Nolan's.
It was me, right?
Just before you turn up, I was going to ask everyone to tweet you, Luke, so you'd wake up to hundreds of notifications saying, "Where are you?"
Oh, Santana and Ortiz got the face paint
with the war paint on. Yes, and they're all wearing like penitentiary gear.
Seen some comments, Casino comments suggesting that I don't watch AEW weekly. You're right, I don't. I usually sleep because I have work in the morning.
So. Commitment to the job, Andy.
I'm sorry, it's a good point.
I do fall asleep normally, hour 1.
Oh, I'm so hyped for this match.
It's all right. Predictions. We all going Pinnacle?
I think it's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Pinnacle wins it, and I think Jericho submits.
So I'm wearing a Liverpool shirt in the crowd. That was nice.
I was gonna say, what do people think who's gonna be the who's gonna take the pin and who's gonna make the pin?
It's not pin. It's submit.
Submission. Yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah, submit or surrender.
I think it will be. It will either be Spears if they want to put him over, or MJF.
I think it's MJF. Making Jericho.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess it's
Jericho doing it to like save someone else.
Yeah, I think it'll be a submit as a surrender rather than a submit. Sorry.
I love that you cut Luke off to say that and couldn't find the words.
Genuinely didn't realize I'd cut Luke off.
I like all Inner Circle as baby faces. I can't get on board with Hager as a baby face.
Well, to be fair, I can't get involved with Hager at all, so I don't think it makes too much of a difference.
There is that.
Yeah.
Starting for Pinnacle. Great choice to start with.
Oh, this looks so cool.
Yeah.
This looks so cool.
Is there a little area next to the rings on each? No, it's just where the cameraman's standing.
I'm genuinely a bit worried.
God, I love Dax Harwood. Look at him. What a man.
Like, we were talking about it earlier, how the Elite was going to be in. Oh, let's go! The dive over the ropes to start. That's awesome. How the Elite were going to be in Blood and Guts, and now we've got this match, and perhaps it's better, whatever. You just know that FTR, having come from what they were dealing with just like a year and a half ago to now being in a proper War Games match with like an old school team led by Chris Jericho, they must just be like giddy tonight.
With Tully Blanchard walking them out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it one at a time or do two people, like one from each team come in?
One from each
It's one at a time. It's got to be. That's the point.
And Inner Circle have got the Pinnacle have got the advantage through a coin toss.
Going for the pin. There's no pin.
I mean, at least I'm not the only one who doesn't know the rules.
It's just like Randy Savage in the 1993 Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I fucking love FTR. I know it's my gimmick, man, but they're just so good.
Don't swear, Louis.
Sorry. They just make me care about wrestling because they care about wrestling so much, which is what I love.
We used to get so many messages on so when they came up to the main roster, we used to get so many messages from people because like all me and Ollie ever did was just be like, they're the greatest tag team in professional wrestling. You can make the argument for the Young Bucks, but me and Ollie just kept saying, it's FTR.
God,
they are just then the Revival, just they are the best. They came to the main roster and did diddly dick, and we just get so many messages from people being like, I don't get it, guys. Like, what do you see in this team? Like, what do you like? They do nothing. They're really boring and they don't do anything. And we were just like, oh no, just go and watch them in NXT. Like, go watch their NXT stuff. It was like that's the bit that's good.
I should shave each other's backs more in AEW, I think.
Oh yeah.
It's got a floppy wire fence.
Andy, we're talking about wrestling, not your night last night. We don't need to hear about your floppy wire.
But Sam, oh man, took a nasty spill there. Landed hard and that was an awkward landing on his knee.
I do like this touch that they're just like at ringside and not backstage or locked up so they can communicate with each other. I like that.
I gotta be honest. I think the whole being locked in a cage thing, locked in the cage on the ramp thing, is very silly.
Yeah, it's a cartoon. Oh boy.
Poor cameraman's going. What?
I'm really enjoying Sammy and Dax working together.
Oh, Dax is open.
Yeah, it looks like Sammy's open as well. Open on his arm slightly.
No, I think that's just Dax.
Dax is already open and cut open.
I think the blood on Sammy's arm is Dax's. Oh, here we go.
27, 26. Now I've got a timer.
Oh, got a bit of bum on this show, aren't they?
You got it.
19, 18, 17, 16,
14,
15. For anyone
13,
who's not doing it.
12, 11.
I mean,
10,
surely
9,
Cash
8, 7, 6,
6, 5.
Oh, he did it!
4,
Yeah, he did the Rey Mysterio
2,
spot.
and Spears
No.
in the chairman.
That's stupid. Not stupid. But you put Cash in. You put FTR in the tag team.
But it's showing that they are one team. They're not just individual elements.
Yeah, I guess so. But FTR are always going to be the best tag team. It'd be like if Inner Circle were and Santana starting. Next would logically be just get Ortiz in there. So you've got the established guys with the most chemistry. But yeah, I guess I get the argument for elsewhere, especially if they want to showcase Spears.
You should have told Sean all this on when you interviewed him.
He was actually a very nice guy. I'd never interviewed him before. That's actually not true. I have interviewed him before.
He is open up.
God, he's got a big red face.
It's the Crimson Mask.
Oh no! Luckily, that's never gone wrong before.
Yeah, that is now going to be it's time to get some heat on Sammy.
I think Sammy might be blading.
Spears basks in the glory of it all.
You reckon all 10 guys get busted open?
Yeah. Jesus, Dax is
yeah.
Helps that he's so sweaty that it's kind of being spread. Whoa!
6, 5,
that was not 5 minutes.
I think it's only 5 minutes for the first period, then it's 2 minutes thereafter.
Oh, that makes more sense. What? Oh yeah.
And here it is. It's Santana in next. Oh, sorry, it's Ortiz rather. Love Ortiz wrestle, man. Look at him go.
Fan of WrestleTalk, Ortiz. We had that actually had that confirmed.
Is he watching our stream?
I presume so. Did a great interview with Denise as well.
Yeah,
really
Ortiz
did.
Sure did. Make sure you go and watch Denise's debut on Sportster as well. Did a news video talking about Daniel Bryan and his contract situation. So go and support our friend.
Where isn't Denise working now?
Yeah.
Is that easier to ask?
I'm convinced she has either a twin or a clone.
Oh, that's awesome.
Spears and Sammy fighting on the ropes. Oh, Spanish fly.
That was awesome.
Spanish fly from one ring to the other.
Oh, and now Dax just beating the crap out of Santana. Ortiz, sorry.
Match is great.
Yep. They're off to a fantastic start.
Yeah.
Oh, Sammy. You shouldn't have tempted fate. You did it right once.
I hope he's all right, but that looked really weird.
Oh, that's a shame.
He's actually bleeding from the face as well.
Maybe they can say that's part of the story that, oh, he got hit in the head and now he can't do it.
That's what the commentators did say. It was like that chair shot really did rock him hard. 5, 4, 3. Here comes Cash. 2, 1. Oh, can just collide with everyone. That's the best thing to do.
So I have spoken to people that legitimately think Cash Wheeler is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Wrestlers that think Cash Wheeler is one of the best wrestlers in the world.
He's so.
I mean,
great.
it's hard to watch him and think otherwise.
Mhm.
You know.
I was sat in my bed. It was 3:30. He hit that flipping top moonsault 450 springboard, and I was like, "How?"
Yeah, considering
Was
he's
it-
built like a fridge as well. Like
Yeah.
it is so impressive to see him do it.
Was it also not like the cleanest 450 you've ever seen, too?
Oh yeah,
And it wasn't like big guy does 450. It's a bit messy. It was like, no, big guy does a 450 that looks like a very good 450.
yeah.
Blimey.
Oh, God.
Good throw to Sammy.
Sammy's just being thrown.
Goodness me.
Oh,
Oh,
sharpshooter.
no. Bad sharpshooter. Bad sharpshooter. Doc Marks. I'm a stickler for the proper way to do a sharpshooter, and he put it on
You're
backwards.
Canadian.
It is. And so is he.
Cool,
You should know better.
Ooh.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Tackle
no.
into the cage.
I was worried that was going to happen.
He's going to roll under the ring.
That was awesome. 7,
7,
6, 5,
5,
4,
4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
He's giving in for
Is it
IC.
Ward?
Santana's in.
God,
I can
love
see why you
Santana.
got them confused earlier, Luke.
Yeah. They're wearing the same gear.
Every single time one of them comes out, we all go, "Oh, I do love him, don't I?"
Yeah.
It's okay. Just wait till Hager comes in.
Oh, it's Hager.
Particularly for Santana and Ortiz as well, because oh man, that ring is done. Looks like it's falling apart in the middle there. Only because I loved this they did an Impact. Like it was always going to be tough to be the new LAX, like because LAX was so good, and like they actually probably ended up being better than the original LAX for as great as the original LAX were. And
I
they
think
just
so.
Had banger and banger after banger after banger. So they were the team AEW first announced. They were the team I was most excited.
God, they're all just being thrown down the
Them and
side.
Lucha Bros.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think both of them are better than Hernandez ever was.
Yeah.
And I liked the original LAX.
That's such a mark for the original LAX.
During the 2-year period that I actually watched TNA.
I was a bit disappointed with like the first bit of LAX's run. I was like, in AEW, I was like, they're not doing much. But I think recently,
Oh God, barbed wire to the face.
Yeah. Bob White's Dax's face. He's already bleeding.
is that a tattoo on his rib that I've just never seen before? Or no, it's the paint from LAX's face on his rib cage.
8, 7, 6.
Oh,
There's cash
dear.
busted open. 4, 3, 2, 1.
We've seen plenty of blood.
It's Big Man Hager. I thought he'd had a haircut for a second then, but he's just made his man bun look more pretentious.
Who's going to spill some guts?
I know this is becoming the gimmick now, but I also do love Wardlow.
Yeah. For a guy that they signed that I did not care about whatsoever, he's done so well.
We all took the piss. We were like, oh, they couldn't get Brian Cage, so they got Wardlow.
Yeah.
And now here they are with both.
Yeah. But Ortiz just staring him down, just like, guys, I need all three. We need all three of us here.
I really wish I wasn't in an ad break right now.
Oh, you in an outbreak? Oh,
Oh
man,
my God,
it's
a
really
triple-
cool
a
stare
triple
off between
moonsault.
like members of the inner circle, like all three of them in there just facing off against Wardlow on his own.
Yeah.
And Daniel
Yeah,
Bryan popped up in the crowd and was just like, what's up, guys?
Oh, and CM Punk too.
Yeah.
It's never CM Punk.
Oh,
Oh God.
and he's obviously not Walter, but he's got that kind of realism in the way he kind of moves and like just throws people.
Scrappy Sammy is. Yeah, you're right, Andy. Like he has got like a presence about him.
Mm-hmm.
Just chucking everyone.
Oh my god!
It's fighting. It's fighting rather than. Oh my god! It's Pat McAfee.
Tell you what, I do love Hager.
Shut up.
There you go. Hager's in now for IC.
Nobody
fine.
likes Millhouse.
Don't like his politics. Oh no!
He had a good match with John Cena once on Raw.
I
And
remember
he's
that.
unbeaten in Bellator.
He did kick a guy in the dick, though.
Yeah, but he didn't lose.
Probably should have been disqualified.
Hager bomb.
We the people. I'll be interested to see how they kind of do the surrender
ankle lock.
/ submit.
The Patriot lock. And
Wait, is
Spears
he
is
not-
tapping out.
Oh, I was going to say.
Well,
I
it doesn't
forgot-
start until everyone's in the ring.
Yeah, I forgot momentarily. I was like, it's over.
But I mean, Spears was that willing to just give up so quickly.
Which is to make him get off.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to get off.
No, but also like it doesn't matter. So you can just you can tap out. It's like what are you hurting? Your own pride?
Oh,
Wardlow's got such floppy, such sort of wet hair that taking the hair band out didn't do anything. Oh no! Oh,
He's got the man bun. Hager's got the man bun. It's the most dangerous part of the bun.
The man.
it's the hardest part of the bun. Oh,
this just feels like
All of these people are going to go through the cage.
they've made the ring apron massive to make so that it's extra hard.
Here comes MJF.
It's for the it's for the camera as well.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
2, 1. Here comes MJF.
Goes without saying. Really love MJF.
Oh yeah.
You called me a pervert on Twitter the other day.
I saw that.
Oh,
Glad
something a
someone said
pervert
it.
then.
I was like, interview coming soon with Sean Spears, and he was like, release it now, you pervert. I want to hear what he's got to say. I was like, okay.
Oh, did you do it?
I see. Yeah.
MJF going to go up against MJF was going to go in there and face off against Hager, and Dex was like, I wouldn't, mate.
I've been watching MJF at the first All In.
Well, there's only been one.
Well, sorry, yeah, the All In.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tempest. And just kind of thinking he was a knob, but I mean, I guess he's now the best knob in wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh no, he was.
No, that's
Me
Batista.
and Ollie did me and Ollie did the review of All In for WrestleTalk Extra. Oh man, Cash is cut open bad. We made the point then, it was just like, what a complete wrestler. He was already like just the complete package. Like right then, he was like so young. And it's like him against M-Dog 20 as well, which was like so perfectly brilliant because M-Dog 20 represented everything about like indie wrestling for the last 20 years. So it was just like a perfect opener for MJF to be like, I'm now the future of indie wrestling. And also look at how of a complete character I am.
Oh, we're going to have the 5-on-5 stare across in the rings. Oh, maybe not. Santana's in the other.
They're going to throw Santana across quickly. Quickly, get him across.
Yeah,
There you
MJF.
go. Just go on. In you go.
Yeah, across.
Oh, there you go.
This feels like a fight.
Do like a quintuple springboard.
Got 20 minutes left as well.
Wow, we have as well. That went quick.
Yeah.
And it felt like they actually got a lot of content in as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was worried. Whoa. I was worried that we're gonna do the 5-minute intervals and they'd be left with like 5 minutes left of time on the show. But they've got 20 minutes left. This is just gonna be a barn burner.
Oh man, I love that. Like
Jericho pulled out a bat.
Style to start running together and just clash in the
Jericho's got
middle.
a bat.
Jericho's got Floyd.
Ooh, that looks like it hurts.
gear quite suits Jericho.
You mean it covers the fact he's got a bit podgy?
No. I just
His
say he
heel
looks
work,
good as a
really.
criminal.
Ollie's thing about basically Jericho just being everything he does is for heel work does make me laugh, but it's proper tinfoil hat. Ollie being like, no. Jericho.
He got into bad shape to get heel heat. He started a crap band to get heel heat.
Hang on, it's the Sturgis one. He went to the Sturgis rally.
Did Sturgis to get heat.
Ollie can't wear a tinfoil hat.
It's trapped.
I do recall he did say that he put on weight in New Japan to be a better heel because he wanted to look like an old, what's his name? Stan Hansen type heel.
That is what I tell people when they ask if I've put on weight as well. I do say it's to be a better heel on WrestleTalk.
In New Japan.
Yeah, to credit to Ollie, like the weight thing is legit. Like he was doing that for heel heat, but Ollie is then extending that to like, he did the Sturgis rally. Like he did a podcast about COVID being a hoax for heel heat.
Yeah, he
donated to Trump
to get heel heat twice.
It makes it easier to watch a match like this with him being the babyface.
What a heel! There is a corner of one of the rings which is just red now.
Oh no! So like the white trunks being covered in blood is such a cool visual as well.
It was so smart wearing the white trunks.
Are you in that break, Tempest?
Yeah.
I thought you might be.
I can still see the picture-in-picture, but obviously I can't hear the commentary.
I will say, watching this on Fight, it's felt like a pay-per-view in terms of the fact we've had no commercials. So, like, I mean, I know we said this at the top of the show. Fight watching AEW. Watching AEW on Fight is like just watching a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
They've pulled up the canvas to expose the wood.
Dax Hardwood. Sorry.
Dax Hardwood.
And they're taking off the ring. They're taking off the ropes as well.
Spears is loosening the ropes.
It's to stop Sammy from doing another springboard.
Tie up Randy Savage and get a snake.
Is he? It looked like Wardlow was trying to go for the Hell's Gate. Like he was trying to put in the Goga.
Well, they've already done tombstones.
Teddy Long banned that move.
Well, actually, Vicky Guerrero banned that move. Teddy Long unbanned it a year and a half later.
My apologies.
It feels a bit like Wardlow and Jake don't quite know what they're supposed to be doing right now.
But they're having
I feel like Wardlow and Jake, they just need to go on a date. They just have a lot of unresolved sexual tension.
Yeah.
All right.
I remember being so mad when Vicky Guerrero banned that move. Banned the move and stripped him of the title. Oh.
She also banned the spear at one point, didn't she? Which is how Ziggler won the world title.
Yeah. I wasn't as pissed off about that because that was stupid. Dolph Ziggler's 15-minute title reign.
How'd you gimmick just whipping someone with a belt?
You don't. You take it.
It feels like they're kind of waiting for them to remove all the padding properly.
Now it really is Dax Hardwood.
Oh, no. Oh, it is. Nice.
Think of pile drives into the exposed floor.
No, I don't like these moves.
Sammy's up. They're going to do a dual pile driver. Spike pile drivers on the exposed wood.
Let's go.
That was really good.
I wonder what the rope is going to play into.
Code breaker by Jericho.
Didn't get all of that one, but
still better than Judas Effect.
Why would you hit someone with the turnbuckle side of that giant metal pole?
Oh, ew.
The same reason you put your hand over the sledgehammer when
it makes it hurt more, yeah. No, dear. Now hold this. Can you hold? Yeah, hold this.
He's going to do coast to coast.
Yep. Eat your heart out,
I
Shane.
like the fact that they're holding it in place. Oh, that sucks. Yeah,
Shane,
it was good.
Shane
It was
still
good
has
that
the best coast to coast.
it's good they were holding it in place rather than
word
having.
with you, Louis.
It's actually the Van Terminator.
Shane McMahon. Oh, he's got it right.
Inner Circle are now like absolutely
there you
standing
go.
tall here because like Wardlow is down, Spears is down. They're taking out FTR. We've just hit MJF with the ring post.
Still got
Ooh,
time.
he looks tired. Is that a fork?
Uh-oh. I don't like that.
Yeah,
No, neither do I. No, do not go anywhere near Cash without busted open it. Do not put it in your mouth
I
either.
love that as well, biting it as well to make it more jagged.
Oh, MJF's busted open.
Ow.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, pandemic.
Blood pandemic. Blood's still one of those.
It's very
things.
much like the Pinnacle are at a very bad way here.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a fork used in wrestling.
Yeah, I've been watching New Jack.
Yeah.
New Jack
Him
and
use a screwdriver.
Oh, Cassidy.
Then this is all Inner Circle right now.
Yeah, we thought Dax was bad. Cash is
Cash is the worst so far. Yeah.
MJF's not looking good either.
Judas effect time, I think, to MJF. Oh no, it's not just a punch. I thought he was like setting up to like hit him with the Judas effect.
Hang on, has he got the ring on? I think that was. Did he have a ring on?
Already put the ring on.
I'm not sure.
No, he didn't.
Just a lot of build up for a punch.
They should have probably put a ring on because that would have worked quite well with MJF.
Yeah.
Do you like it, Louis?
I do like it.
They've already
put
got
a ring
two
on
rings.
I should have put a ring on it.
That was a long way to get there, but it was worth it.
It's not where I thought you were going.
Lou doesn't listen to music.
Wardlow fighting back for the Pinnacle.
I know exactly about that song from Rihanna.
Oh!
Great elevation
my
there on
God.
Sammy.
It was Beyonce, but who's counting?
Yeah, that was the joke.
Okay, well, with you, I can't tell when it's a bit.
Oh!
This is someone who didn't know who Luke Skywalker was.
May the force be with you.
No, may the fourth be with you.
Oh no.
Oh!
I just couldn't quite grab him there. Man, they cannot get Wardlow to stay down.
Maybe this is going to be like... Yeah. Maybe this could be like the star-making match for Wardlow.
Yeah.
I think Spears needs it more than Wardlow right now.
I'll be honest, I still don't really care about Sean Spears that much.
But that's why I think he needs it. Like, I think everyone, like, we're still quite high on Wardlow because we've seen him do cool stuff before. I think Spears needs that cool thing. Because I'll tell you what, that blonde mohawk was not it.
I stand by what I said in 2019. He should have beaten Cody.
Yes and no. Like, if you're going to build to the title match, the first title match between Cody and Jericho, you've got to have Cody win. But yes, he should have beaten Cody.
We've got, while we're in commercial break, you can tell us when we're out of it, Tempest. R. Shucks Gaming says, did anyone else notice that Shivani was lip syncing Miro's promo while he cut it on camera? And he wasn't lip syncing. I think he was going like, I'm so scared, is what he was saying. He wasn't lip syncing along with him. Miguel Martinez. I didn't get the notification about the stream. Glad I checked to make sure, but bummed I missed the first hour. Glad I'm watching the historic match with the boys. Any word on how Mr. Davis is doing since his arm surgery? Yeah, well, it wasn't getting arm surgery. He was getting a hair transplant to help heal his arm. And it has gone well. He won't be on camera again for the rest of the week. So I'm going to be doing the news tomorrow again. And then Laurie will be doing it as per usual on Friday.
Oh,
Tully Blanchard has taken out Rice Remsburg.
Rice Bremsburg.
The key.
Oh, Tully Blanchard getting inside War Games. Yes. Oh, is MJF going to get out?
His arm.
You can't do that. You can't escape. Oh, you.
Oh,
he's
no. Why? What? Oh, what are you doing?
So you know there's that bit on the stage. There's the raised bit with the AEW logo. Someone's going through that.
Oh no, God. Tully's down. What if someone goes through the top?
I would have been so interested to see the Elite and the Inner Circle in this match. How different it would have been.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I would have just escaped to the back if I wanted to escape. So who do you reckon is going off?
Well, I mean, MJF by the looks of it. But
yeah,
I mean
or Jericho. I can't see Jericho going through. I could see Sammy maybe going up.
I think maybe if Jericho goes off the top, that kind of distracts the Inner Circle enough.
Just get up
to turn the tide.
What's he just saying?
Right.
I have an elbow.
We are in the viewer discretion is advised bit. We'll be back from commercial.
That's why he's pausing.
Like 5 seconds.
And now we're back live. That's why he was pausing. What a pro.
I was like, why is he standing there just waiting?
He's waiting for his cue.
There is something about going on top of a cage that makes my body just kind of shiver a bit.
Oh, and MJF backing off. Such a good seller, that. Was it Jericho? Was it Jericho on top of the cage?
I'll always say the Lion Tamer is significantly better.
Of course it is. There's a period of time when it wasn't just a Boston Crab.
Yeah.
Optimus says in the chat, for his sake, I'm glad Matt Hardy is not part of this match.
Low blow. I've never seen that as a reversal out of the Walls of Jericho.
Right to the Judas.
Judas and his priest.
Oh.
Yeah. To think that he's been doing a version of that move for like 25 years. And I haven't seen someone just turn around slightly and punch him in the
nuts.
Yeah.
We've got Salt of the Earth by MJF now. Let's try and tap out Jericho instead.
Is the referee down there just like, hey Chris, do you submit?
They're watching it on TV with us. Like, I need to see, is he tapping or not?
Picture.
Ooh.
I missed it. I wonder what's happening in the ring.
Probably not a whole lot
for MJF. And he's biting the wrist. What a heel. Back to the Salt of the Earth.
He's a vampire.
What I love about MJF is he's so good on the mic that we forget how good he is in the ring.
I don't really forget.
I know. But people do.
We've got 5 minutes, so we're really building here to the.
AEW doesn't traditionally go over normally.
No, there'll be a big brawl with the Dark Order at the end.
There you go, the Dynamite ring.
Well, Daniel Bryan still has to show up.
That's true.
He did show up. I told you when
you're going to go through. Is there a panel here?
Oh, that Hulk up spot.
I keep forgetting that Jericho's the babyface in all this.
He's busted open.
There you go. He's going to tease the throwing off spot now.
How many people haven't bled yet?
Maybe Santana Ortiz.
Yeah.
Bryce Remsburg is the only one.
Bryce Remsburg's got a crimson mask right now. They're just not showing.
He would do it too. I've talked to Bryce before when we both worked for Chikara. He would absolutely love to do that sort of thing.
They pan to commentary. Tony Schiavone's just crimson.
Excalibur's wearing a red mask now.
Look at that. He's telling the boys, we're going to throw him off. They're begging with him not to do it. Here comes Santana Ortiz. Sammy said a surrender. Sammy surrenders.
Oh.
Wow.
MJF outsmarted them all.
He's going to do it anyway. Any.
Yeah.
He should.
Huh.
That's not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I think it's what we said, though. It was just like they'll get someone to surrender by threatening the rest of the team surrender on their behalf.
So the comments do not seem to have liked this.
No, I don't think I did either. I like them.
It's surrender or submission.
No. That's fine. That's fine. But I mean, the just the way it was framed, where we just didn't see anything other than these two on top for the last 5 minutes.
But that's the focus. I
don't understand.
That's focusing on the finish.
And also, don't forget, this is just the start of the feud. You can't have a big spot.
He's going anyway. You're still getting your spot.
Oh, that was a great shot as well.
Oh.
To be honest, quite probably a not bad bump to take.
I think I would have taken that.
I mean, it looks visually impressive.
It's a great visual with the collapsed.
Exactly.
The collapsed panels.
It's like with it's like the Rikishi bump.
I was just gonna say it looks like the Rikishi bump. Yeah.
I think maybe the reason people didn't like it was because it sort of slowed down because it was so intense for so long.
But that's the point. I think it was the whole he's outsmarted.
Well, I know that, but I'm trying to kind of understand why people didn't like it.
I think
you're trying to apply logic to people's opinions.
Oh well, people are saying not enough build up.
What do you mean not enough build up? They were on top of the
I don't know
cage for ages. Doing I know, Andy. That's what I'm saying. I'm not arguing with you. I'm arguing with why people what more did you want them to do up on top of the cage? They teased several near falls up there and then did the big spot at the end. Surely, what would you want them to do? Just cut back to the middle of the ring and just watch some people just beat each other up for a bit. That's not the finish. All the finish is focusing on the two leaders of the groups battling it out on top of the cage.
You had one of the team members on the babyface team sacrifice the match to try and save his leader, and the heel still was a dick who pushed him off anyway. I'm sorry, I don't get what's not to like about this. This is a 5-star match in execution and in thought to me. I've got literally no complaints about this.
No, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Needed more guts. False advertising. It was all blood, no guts.
I don't know. Maybe the lack of
I was lied to. Where's my guts?
The lack of because we didn't really hear Guevara sort of say that he'd surrendered. I don't know.
I did. I had him pretty clear. And I think they made it fairly obvious that that's what was going on.
Yeah. I think basically the reason people are upset is because he didn't fall off the ring before the end of the match.
No, the reason people are upset is, and this happens all the time in wrestling, you build something up in your head, and when it doesn't meet the expectations that you have set, not the company have set, that you have set, you're unhappy with it. It was the same with the Revolution debut. Everyone's like, it's CM Punk.
Yes.
I was like, guys, it's not CM Punk. You've made it out in your head to be CM Punk. The company never said it was going to be. Chill out. And I think that...
I mean, it's slightly different given, I think most people agree that they did oversell it, but...
I don't think they did at all. They said it's Hall of Fame worthy talent. Christian's a Hall of Fame worthy talent. Done.
I also think that, like, from what I can gather just going through the comments there, is that people don't like a surrender finish. I wonder if it is just a case of if people are so used to the NXT way of doing war games, which is ending with pinfalls and ending doing like the big spot in the pinfall, like, and you get the crowd reaction from that a surrender finish just doesn't like translate on TV as well as it would have done in 1982. So
I also think I saw a few comments about the commercials. I think that our viewing of the show was probably quite a lot better because we didn't have the commercials. I can understand probably the people were maybe taking a bit out of the match if every couple of minutes you've got a commercial break.
Which is kind of what we said like last week, or it might have been a couple of weeks ago when we said like one of the problems of doing it on TV is you're going to have to deal with commercial breaks.
I thought they were going to do increased commercial breaks at the start, like NXT used to do when they did their like big title matches. They'd be like, all right, we're going to stick all the commercials in the start. So the start will be almost unwatchable because it'll be a commercial break every 3 minutes. But the main event, you'll have nothing. I thought they were going to do that.
Yeah. American TV is awful. I was actually like, for my other podcast I was doing, we're reviewing a video game show from the early 80s called Starcade. It is a 22-minute show. Well, like, it was a half-hour show. It's got 4 ad breaks in it. It's fucking ludicrous. Like, American TV has too many ad breaks. And considering that the program itself is just was a commercial for other stuff, it's too many ad breaks in American TV. So yeah, I don't know. I get why. I think if it's like, if you were expecting like a big finish to the match, then a surrender thing is not going to, like, that is pretty much what I expected it to be. So, and like, that's what a surrender finish looks like. But I think that we are an audience that is not used to surrender finishes. So it just like, if it's the first time you're seeing it, it's like, well, that isn't the big pyro ballyhoo finish that we're kind of used to. So I get like, so I kind of get it from that perspective. I also think the commercials do not help that whatsoever, because that can help if it's on pay-per-view because you get to build that flow. But if your commercials constantly ruining the flow of that would wind me up as well.
A couple of things I've seen. People on Twitter are saying it took them too long from between Jericho starting to climb and the finish, because then it just kind of brought everyone down. And the other is that it made the Inner Circle look stupid because they were like, oh no, don't do it, as if like MJF wasn't going to push him anyway.
Well, yeah, because if you were going to climb, he'd have just pushed him, and you were sacrificing the team for the greater good of saving your leader.
Yeah, but I think what people are saying is that it was never going to work. But yeah, I'm just
It's fucking wrestling.
Like, I know. I'm just trying to empathize. See what
they could have had a 6-star classic, and people still would have moaned. I think the match was very good. It was simple. It was violent, but the finish. Don't forget, this is the start of the feud. You can't have your big moment right now. I think we'll be fine. We will all be fine.
And I know a lot of people as well are very annoyed at like the quote obvious crash pad that Jericho landed on. Like,
what do you want? Do you want him to die?
It's wrestling. Like, Triple H landed on a goddamn crash pad at WrestleMania 17. Like, this has been happening for decades. It's wrestling, guys. Like, I don't get it. I don't get any hate for this match.
I tell you what, if you didn't get this match, watch some of the old war games from WCW. This was akin to that. Not the Ricochet is going to do a 3,037,1200 senton off the top. I think people are expecting that. Go and watch some of the old war game stuff, and you will see this was more akin to that.
Yeah. Also, as Sarah Jane Deegan points out, he's like 67. Just be gentle with him. So like. Yeah, I don't think I'm not going to be of the opinion of just like, it is bad that they protected the wrestler in doing the big bump, because that to me is just means like they were just being safe with it. That's a good thing. We'll do that through our last Omega chats we got here. Samuel Starr say, got into WrestleTalk when the pandemic started. A wonderful night to see fans, AEW live streams, and Andy. Grateful for your content over the past year. Sam. Will be 33 said, there's a walkway along the top of the ring. Who does that spot? I think we found out. DX Solar said, I'm watching this and you lot are a bit behind. I'm all synced up. Hopefully you're all in the future are enjoying this. Currently just watched the opening tag. Keep up the good work, fellas. Thanks for the watch along. Always makes it more fun. Always great to see you in the chat, DX Solar. Thank you so much for joining us. William Tucci Jr., that match would have been 10 times better here in the US if they didn't have so many damn commercials. Love WrestleTalk. Watch the channel every day. Jam that jam. T Boogie said this match was good, but the
pacing.
Oh, the pacing and the finish sucked. And said that was no War Games. I'm sorry, I'm an NXT mark here. Yeah, it's not an NXT War Games, I would say.
Yeah. The NXT War Games matches suck, in my opinion. So
objectively incorrect statement there.
I was going to say, like, so this is really funny actually, because like when NXT did War Games, and like me and Ollie reviewed that first War Games that they did, and me and Ollie were like, that was so cool. It was a really fun match and everything. We had like all the comments, which is like, that wasn't War Games. That's not how a War Games match. War Games is submit or surrender. There's a roof on the cage. That is not War Games. And we were just defending being like, well, it's just a different kind of War Games. It's not like, it's the WWE way of doing War Games. It's just a different way of doing it. And I like the way that NXT do theirs. I think the locking people in cages at the top of the ramp is goofy as all get out, but I like the way that like the matches are really fun car crash spectacles. And I think that's a lot of fun in that. New Punk Rant said, people just want to hate AEW for no reason. There was nothing wrong with that. Bunch of cornets in the comments. Great Dynamite. Next week is going to be amazing. AEW continues to get better. We just need the juice. Ready, set,
there's lots of juice in that match. Everyone juiced.
Ready, set, Mex. The blood and guts was entertaining, but the commercials ruined my excitement. The second breaks stopped showing picture-in-picture to miss the ring being torn up. Just wish this was on pay-per-view. Willie Singleton, it was 5 out of 5. That's all. And Steven Guzman said, that match effing ruled. I absolutely loved it. AEW makes me happy to be a pro wrestling fan. MJF is the evil goat. Right, well, I think that is going to draw it to a close. It's 3:10 here in the AM in the UK. But thank you all so much for staying up with us. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to the WrestleTalk Podcast channel. Tempest and I are going to be doing the AEW review tomorrow. I don't think I can be as intangible as Pete is, but I'm going to do my best to try and fill in for his shoes. But yes, we'll be here tomorrow at 3 p.m., the usual time on the WrestleTalk Podcast channel. But until then, I've been Luke Owen. Up there was Louis Dangor, texting away, obviously texting all of his sources to ask them what they all thought of the match. Over there, no, that way. Why can't I do this? Over that way is Andy, and up there is Tempest. Thank you all so much. Take care. I love you. Goodbye. Do the wave, everybody.